Emily Thompson, a 65-year-old woman, had a seemingly perfect life. She was happily married to her husband David for 43 years, and together they had shared two sons, Andrew and Chris. But happiness is often fragile. When Emily fell ill, everything changed. Hospital visits became regular, and the once steady home was steeped in worry. David, unable or unwilling to cope with his wife's sickness, decided Emily should live with their eldest son Andrew, his wife and kids. It seemed a practical decision, but months passed, and David's distance grew. He stopped visiting, ceased sending money, always with an excuse. Bewildered and worried, Andrew decided to visit his father for answers. Upon arrival at his father's doorstep, Andrew's heart skipped a beat. A young woman, Mary, only 23, greeted him. The stark realization struck like a cold wind. This was the reason for his father's neglect. Enraged by the betrayal, an intense argument exploded between father and son, a clash of love and loyalty. David revealed he was in love with Mary, dismissing the compassion that tied him to Emily. He offered Andrew an ultimatum: acceptance or exclusion from the will. Andrew, torn between love for his mother and righteous indignation, left his father's house, anger burning, unsure how to shield his mother from such devastating news. Emily's health spiraled, and an emergency hospital visit ensued. Yet David did not appear, not even as she lingered on the edge. When Emily was discharged, she begged her sons to distance themselves from their father, a man she no longer recognized. David Thompson, at 70, left his wife Emily for a younger woman, Mary, a woman who valued beauty and wealth. Mary had a wish list that could empty a millionaire's wallet. David showered her with gifts, trips, and expensive dinners. A year passed, and David's finances dwindled. He worked long hours to sustain Mary's lifestyle. One day, he returned home early to find Mary with George, a man with a shady past. David confronted George, but was physically overpowered. He retreated to his sister Judy, who suggested calling the police, but David ignored the advice. Judy begged David to stay away from Mary and live with her until he heals, so he can gain strength to kick Mary out. Weeks passed with David still living with Judy, and she noticed David's frequent calls with Mary and realized he was deeply entangled. Mary manipulated David back into her arms. Judy got worried and decided to plead with Emily and her sons for help. Speaking of David's downfall, manipulated and abused by Mary, Judy pleaded with Emily to intervene, but Emily grew furious. Casting Judy away, they were happy without him. A year later, news of David's death reached Emily through Martin, David's cousin, shocked that Judy never informed Emily of David's passing. He was found dead on his bed by Mary and was to be buried the next day, he said. Martin had his suspicions but could do nothing. Pleaded with Emily to look into David and Mary's situation, but Emily refused, stating she has her own health problems. She only wants peace for herself and her sons. At David's funeral, whispers confirmed Mary's deception. She had forged documents to seize everything. Emily and her sons attended the funeral, unwelcome and estranged. They left the shadows of the past behind, seeking healing in their own way, left with dignity, choosing peace over turmoil.